Cricbuzz, Unplugged, Adam Collins, and I'm thrilled to have New Zealand superstar Ross Taylor with me here at the Oval, where New Zealand start their World Cup campaign tomorrow against India in a practice match, but it's going to be a full house here. It won't feel like a practice match.
No, definitely. I think obviously India are one of the form teams, and we haven't played a one-day international for a while. So no, it's a good place to start, and hopefully it's a good hit out for the side.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. You haven't played a one-day since February. How does that affect the side when you're trying to gel at a crucial time before a major tournament?
I think it's just the way the scheduling worked. I guess we have to have the IPL. The guys had played against Australia.
Yep.
There's 4 or 5 guys there, and myself playing in county cricket. So it's been a little bit disjointed, but I'm sure these make these warm-up games very important and a very good hit out, and hopefully we can make the most of that.
You were the other side of the river playing for Middlesex in the 50-over competition here. Was that the perfect build-up for you playing in this country ahead of the World Cup?
I think so. I think apart from playing an international, I couldn't think of a better preparation to be in these conditions and just getting accustomed to it. I didn't see the sun very often while I was here, so it's since we've been here the last 4 or 5 days, it's been beautiful. So hopefully that can continue. 4th
World Cup. You've been on the international stage for a really long time now. Do you value these moments? Are they more precious to you now that you're at the other end of your career rather than at the very start?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time, everyone tells you you're a long time retired and you've got to make the most of it. So it still probably hasn't sunk in yet, the World Cup, but I'm sure once we get into the warm-up games and that first game against Sri Lanka, that the nerves will go up a notch. But yeah, I think World Cup's about dealing with pressure, but at the same time you still got to enjoy it. And if we can do that as a team, then hopefully we can go far.
Despite being a veteran, you're still crucial to this side. You've averaged 68 with the blade since the last World Cup. You've been in fantastic nick in a whole series of bilateral competitions. Do you feel as though you're actually coming into this in career best form?
I guess if you go on that, but form's only what you do out in the middle. But no, I've been very happy. I've had a big push in my one-day game, thinking that this probably be one of my last tournaments. But Chris Gale's an inspiration. He's going at 39, and I'll be 39 at the next tournament. So you never know. But no, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at in my game, and hopefully I can continue the form.
New Zealand's bowlers were equally as important as the batsmen last time around when you made the final of that tournament. But the ball hasn't been swinging as much in white ball cricket in recent years. Is that a bit of a hurdle you need to overcome and find a different way to get sides out?
Yeah, or just you never know. The balls can start swinging. I think there's a different batch of balls, so it could swing. And but no, it hasn't swung consistently since the 2015 World Cup. And saying that, the bowlers are going to play a big part in this, and not necessarily just the fast bowlers. The spinners have got to find ways of getting wickets through the middle. But no, I think it's going to be an exciting trip, and I'm sure the whole team, not just the batters and the bowlers, need to step up at different times during this tournament.
Coming so close 4 years ago at the MCG, I know your side went to the G before that tournament to wonder what it might be to play in a global final. Have you done the same thing with Lords, or have you thought much about what might happen at the pointy end of this tournament in these sort of conditions?
I guess it did go through your mind a little bit when I was playing for Middlesex, but there's still a lot of cricket and a lot of good cricket to be played before you can even think that far ahead. But I think the format in itself, everyone playing everybody, like the 92 World Cup, I think it's pretty exciting. There's no real dead rubber games against the so-called minnow. So I think all those little things, but it's so different in the World Cup to playing a 5-match series. You get to feel the opposition out. You've got to be on song from game one, and but no, I'm looking forward to it.
Keep coming back to 4 years ago, but it was such a famous time for New Zealand cricket. You got on a roll. You got momentum early in the tournament, and it went all the way to the very end, except for the final. Great record in global tournaments historically, and especially in 50-over World Cups too. Do you sort of feel like you might be the underdog that people aren't necessarily talking about, but the wind is at your back at the moment?
I think we enjoy the underdog tag, and we probably, when we are so-called favourites, it probably doesn't sit with us too well. So no, that sits fine with us. But it just shows you what home advantage can do. And I think we played very well at home. We knew our conditions very well. And our only game in that tournament overseas in Australia, albeit only a 3-hour flight, we didn't play anywhere near what we were capable of. So I think it shows you what England will have to contend with, and I think that's why they're favourites. They're having home conditions, the fans will be right in behind them, but at the same time I'm sure the other teams will be wanting to knock them off as well.
What does this generation New Zealand players stand for as a side? What's the guiding principle behind what you're doing at the moment?
I think just to go out there, enjoy yourself, and be yourself and play to your values. I think I think everyone has got their own strengths and things. Don't be anyone you're not. Go out there and play for your family and friends, and first and foremost your country. And if you do that, then you go a long way to having success.
Ross Taylor, a champion of the international game for such a long time. Good luck in the World Cup, and thanks so much for joining Cricbuzz.
Thank you.